So now what we're going to do is take a look at how the graph of f of x and the graph of first derivative and the second derivative are related. So what happens, so at this point the slope is positive. So what I'm going to do is mark off some points, roughly speaking. Here we've got slopes are 0, and what happens is, that's ugly now. So starting out here we have a relatively high positive slope, and then the graph comes down, we get to a slope of 0. Then we have a small negative slope, large negative slope, then the slope becomes smaller negative, gets to 0, and then the slope is positive again, or the function is increasing, and slope becomes 0 again, and then it's small negative, and it gets large negative, it's back to 0 again, a large slope, positive slope, then it gets back to 0, and then the slope becomes positive again. So over here, so function values are negative, but slopes are positive. Larger positive to smaller positive to 0, right at that point. Then we have small to larger negative slopes, and then the negative slope comes back to 0, small positive, large positive, smaller positive, 0. Okay. So that's that's how the slope relates to, so any place where the function's increasing, so from here up to here, slopes are positive. It starts at 0, gets back to 0, goes positive again. Between this point and this point, function's decreasing, so slope is negative. Positive slope, negative slope, positive slope. Now here's an inflection point. This is where the slope changes. So we saw what happens with an inflection point when it's concave down. So here we have concave down, which means the slope decreases. So we start out large positive, we get to small positive to 0, and then small negative to large negative. And it's at this point where the slope starts to decrease. So it becomes larger negative to smaller negative to 0, to small positive to large positive, up to about this point. So when it's concave up, slope is increasing. So we follow this x value. Slopes are increasing from here to here. Increasing. Here it turns, and slope starts decreasing. So smaller positive to 0, and then smaller negative to larger negative. So here, concave down, slope decreasing. Here's the first derivative, slope decreasing. These peaks here in the slope, these are where inflection points occur. So slope is decreasing, slope increasing, decreasing, increasing, decreasing, increasing. When slope's increasing, we have concave up. There's concave up here, increasing slope. Decreasing slope, concave down in this stretch. Concave up, we've got increasing slope, decreasing slope, concave down. So how the graphs relate to one another, even though this picture is a little bit ugly, that's just an overview of how the function values, the slopes, and the concavity are related to one another.